Alright, and we're back. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is show you how we can kind of spice up our planets. Maybe add some craters to them. Maybe put some rings on them. So let's go ahead and start off with the same planet I had before. And I'm going to use the ellipse tool. And I'm going to draw a circle here, and maybe here, and here. And I want to make these things look like they're divots inside this thing. So what I could do is I could go to the the gradient tool, and I could smush this one down, and I could put it so that it's up here to the side. No, I'm sorry, down here to the side. Let me go ahead and do this. Let me reverse these. So instead of this one being bright, let's make this one bright. And you can easily do that by simply taking this one, sliding it over here, take this one, slide it over here. Oops. And you'll now have the lighter one on the outside and the darker one on the inside. I'm going to just shift these over, and I'm going to put it so that this is a little bit bigger. Let's go something like, let's go even bigger. Let's go something like this. Let's see what that looks like. That's actually not bad. It kind of does resemble a little bit of a crater. So let's see if we can get the same effect with these. One of the easiest ways to do that is, now that I've got this one selected, I can use the eyedropper. I can click on this one, and it'll give me the same gradient. Now, going back to the gradient tool, I can just adjust the size of this one. Make it bigger. And let's imagine there are light sources over here, so the light should be hitting this part. It should be darker on this area. And there we go. Not bad. Let's see if we can do the same thing here. Again, I'll use the eyedropper to click on this after I have this selected. I'll use the gradient tool to squish this gradient. Oh, sorry, this one. This one I'm going to have to rotate as well. Like that. And then let's make this much, much, much larger. Say something like this. Okay, so I kind of feel like this is starting to create some craters. You could do as many of these as you'd like. And then we could bring this over. If I copy this and paste this, it does do all three of them as one object. So again, select it all, edit, copy, and then paste, edit, paste, or Control-C, Control-V. When it's placed, you have to push Enter to get it there. And then if I go up to my filters and I apply that filter gallery, again, you'll end up with something like this, which I don't like. So maybe I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not crazy about the way that turned out. Another option is, you could, once you have these things selected, you can go into here under Appearance. Now let's go with Transparency, and you could bring the opacity down maybe to 50%. That'll make them a little bit more subtle, so they don't seem quite as, I don't know, intense. Maybe try that. Try a few of them, see if they add anything. Maybe some small ones too. And maybe you'll have some other idea of getting craters on there that you think is better, and that's fine too. Get creative. Do whatever you like. This is really a chance for you to show what you can do. So, I don't know. I'm not really totally happy with the way these are turning out, but let's move on for now. So that's one way of adding craters. If you want to do your own, go for it. Now another thing we can do is we can put rings around it. So let's do that. I'm going to create rings by, let's create a ellipse like this. And I'm just going to fill this in, I don't know, yellow. Let's make another one of these by holding down Alt and moving it straight up. Let's color this one red. And you'll see that right here, this yellow shape, which is blocked by this red one, looks pretty good for like a ring of a planet. Maybe we can make it a little bit wider, like that. So, in fact, what if I made this one smaller and I stuck it like that? Oh, there we go. That's a ring. That's what I'm looking for right there. So make this top one smaller. Now I'm going to select both of these at the same time by using the regular selection tool to select them both. I'm going to click on the Shape Builder tool, and I'm going to click here on the yellow. And what we end up with, now I'm going to use the selection tool. Let's pull this out, and you'll see that now we have this by itself. So we have our own little ring. Let's stick it around our planet and see what it looks like. Maybe I want to flatten it. I think I made that a little bit too much light. Okay, not bad. I kind of like the way that turned out. We do have to get rid of this part right here, though, because if we move it to the back, you won't be able to see the front of it. If we move it to the front, you won't be able to see the back of it. Or you will be able to see the back, and you don't want it to. So what we can do is select everything, including our planet, and using the Shape Builder tool, I'm going to go ahead and deselect these circles for now. I don't want to have them selected, and I'm doing that just by holding down Shift and clicking on them. I'm going to use the Shape Builder tool. I'm going to click on the planet, and I'm just going to click down here. Oh, you know what? That didn't work because that got rid of that area. So instead, I'm going to try clicking on this. And let's see what happens if I can delete that now. I can, but then I have another problem because I've taken off a piece of my planet. I guess the only solution at this point would be to make another perfect circle exactly this shape. And I could just take a few seconds to kind of do that. Let's put that over here. Now I'm going to use the Shape Builder tool. And by doing that, I can cut off that back section, but I'll still have this disk. So I know that's a little complicated, but to avoid that, just do it when you first create your shape, and then you can add your gradient later, or make a duplicate of the circle. Okay, so there we go. So now we have a little ring like the rings of Saturn. You can move it up, make it, you know, as thin or as you want, but I would copy this, paste this to here, move it where I want it to go, click OK. It does look a little weird though because it's all bright, so you might even want to put a, in fact you definitely would want to put a gradient on this as well. So I click here, let's add that gradient and squish this thing down. Maybe something like this. A little bit more subtle. Squish that down a little, oops. A little bit more. Okay, and I like that. Now I'll copy and paste it. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. And that's what I'm talking about. That looks like a ring. And I can just delete the other one. And again, it's a good idea to label your ring here. And you can check what's on that layer by just clicking on the eyeball. It'll turn on and off. Okay, I think that's good for now. Add some more objects. And yeah, get to it.